Alrighty, ready-roo. Tonight, let's talk about compatibility levels. So, one of the toughest things to do is to get a list of compatibility levels and change them, right? Especially for like all your databases or a subset of databases or whatever. Now, getting it isn't that hard, right? You can just select star from sys databases. Boom, and you pull that up and you've got the name here. And of course you've got the compatibility level here, and you can just narrow that down if you like, right? But there's no way to actually change it this way. So to change it, you have to put it in a cursor and change it for each one of them, or cycle through them here by right-clicking on properties and then going in there and changing the compatibility level, right? So we're going to switch to PowerShell for this. If you right-click from here and say Start PowerShell, automatically connects you to your databases, right? So when you come here, you can say CI format table. We'll just get a name for now. There we go. So we got our list of databases. You can't change the compatibility level for system databases, so it only spits up. Well, that's not why it spits up only the user databases, but it only spits up user databases, and in this case, it doesn't really matter. So we'll do a get member on this to see what we can do. See, that's nice and long, isn't it? Okay, so I'm going to come up here, back up to the top, as close to the top as we can get anyway. And we're looking for, there's get. So let's go down to the properties, and I want to see something that looks like compatibility level. There it is, right there. So when I do that other thing, I'm going to add name, compatibility level. Okay, good. And let me go ahead and auto size that. Good. Okay, so there we go. I know what my compatibility level is for each one of these. Now I can change it. Well, there are two ways that you can change this in PowerShell, and I'm nice enough to show you both of them. So as we do our GCI here, we're going to pipe that to our for each loop. Don't forget your curlies. For each one of these, you're going to say, well, let's go ahead and use the method right now. There's a method for this. Let's see where it is. It'll be set compatibility level right there. Set compatibility level. So for each one of these, we are going to set compatibility level. And let's say I want this to be 9.0, just so I can have something to switch it to, right? Now, this is another one of those that has to have the alter on it as well, because if not, it's not going to actually change it, okay? It'll only change it in your session, but you won't be able to see it anywhere else. So, right now we've got compatibility level equals 9.0 and alter. Okay, and we did it. Now, when we come back here, now we see these three down here on 9.0, right? And just to make this a little bit easier to read, let's say name, comma, compat level. There we go. So now you can see that. Okay. So we've changed our compatibility level, right? Now we're going to change it back, only we're going to change it back the other way. You're still going to call the alter method, so there's nothing we can do about that. Now for each one of these, there's a compatibility level property, right? So you can just set the property itself. So you can say that the object dot compatibility level equals 100. And then when we come back over here, you can see that it's set back to 100. Now let's look, just to show you what would happen if we didn't call the alter method. I'll set it back to 9.0 without altering it. And you see it's still on 10, right? And no matter how many times I run that to 9.0, it's going to stay set to 10. It's not going to change it until you actually call the alter method. And there are several methods in, there are several properties in these objects that do that. So the best way to do that is look for an alter method And if there's not an alter method, and I can't show you that right now, that's actually going to be another video. But if you can't, if there's an alter method, you generally have to use it. Let me put it that way. So when I come back up here and call alter, now when I come back here, now they're all set to 9.0. I'm going to set them back to 100 because that's where I want them. And they're back there. So you can see this is a really easy way to change all of your compatibility levels. Now, you could write a T-SQL cursor to do this, absolutely. But that's the only way to do it in SQL, is to write a T-SQL cursor for every single one of them. And that's just, you know, and then you have to use dynamic SQL. It's really kind of a pain. Look how easy PowerShell makes this. It's absolutely wonderful. Have fun.